Okay, guys, so my name is Amitav, and we are just going to start our webinar. I hope you can see the webinar and hear me as well. So let's get started. I'll do just one more round of test to see if I'm visible, audible to you. So let's get started. So a couple of things before we start. One is that the questions, if you have, you should write it in the comments column on the YouTube page. And at the end of the webinar, I'm going to look at the questions and try and answer as many of them as possible. Of course, the questions will be at the end. The session duration overall is 45 minutes, so we should be done by 11:45, with the last 15 minutes or 10 minutes for questions, depending upon how quickly we are able to take you through. But before that, a little bit about myself. Who am I and why am I talking to you? So my name is Amitav Verma, and I run my company called AMP Digital. We are into digital marketing execution, like we manage SEM accounts for some of the customers, as well as we are in training. So we train working professionals in various areas like online advertising, social media marketing, web analytics. So that's what we do. And I've been doing this for about 1.5 years now. Before that, I worked for Google for about 7.5 years in various areas. My last role was as the head of SMB services team, a global SMB services team, and my team would handle all English language advertisers across the globe. Before Google, I was part of the sales team, credit card sales team at Axis Bank, and I have overall of about 16 plus years of sales and marketing experience, of which half of it has been on the digital side. Okay, so that's a little bit about myself. I like training. I like to help people become successful in whatever they are doing, and that's been a passion for me. And I hope to continue in this direction through some of the webinars, through some of the trainings that we are providing to corporates as well as individuals. So with that introduction, let us get started. So let me just check once again. I'm hoping that you are able to see me, and I'm just checking if things look fine. Okay, cool. So I'm going to get started now. Okay, so why digital marketing? I mean, that's the first question that a lot of people have, because I'm sure all of us have got good careers, many career options available today. So why digital marketing? And one of the things that I look at is data. And there is a very nice study that is available on Ad Age, this magazine, and it's been conducted by Mondo. So Mondo has done this study, and they spoke to about 260 odd CMOs and different companies to understand why digital and where they are on digital. So 80% of all the companies said that they're going to increase their marketing spends in the next 12 to 18 months. And some of the spends range between increasing by 5% to increasing by 20-25% and above, which is way above how the market is growing. If you look at the advertising market or the marketing market as a whole. So digital or the spends on digital medium is outspending the spends on, say, a newspaper or TV or any other advertising medium. So this is one market which is growing and growing at a fast pace. We'll come to India a little bit later, but even globally, wherein US and the Western markets have been in advertising for about 17, 18, 19, 20 years now, even then it's still growing. So that's the first piece of information, and I'm sure all of us know about it. And here is a little bit of data that I picked up from eMarketer, another very credible source, on how the TV, digital, print, all kinds of advertising is growing across the board. And this has an estimate, and it has some real numbers. So if you look at it, TV is going to be approximately stable at 38%. So if anyone has $100, they would spend $38 on TV, 29 on digital. Okay, 29 on digital, Sorry, I think there's somebody trying to contact me. So 29 on digital, and this 29 2016 has grown from 17 in 2010. Okay, so approximately, assuming that the size of the pie has been consistent or constant, this is approximately 50% growth. Okay, but we also know that the size of the pie, which is the entire advertising industry, is also growth. So we'll look at that later. Okay, and even in digital, if you look at the mobile, that percentage of ad spend on mobile devices is growing phenomenally, 0.5% from 0.5% to 6.3%. So digital is grown 17% to 29. If you look at print, the ad spend on print medium, it has come down from 24% to 16%. Okay, from 1/4 to about 1/6. Okay, that's how the decline has been, and we can actually see a lot of decline has happened in newspapers, and of course, not very surprising. Okay, if you look at radio, it's almost stable, like 9.9 to 8.5, a little bit of decline, but it's okay. Directories have come down by half. Outdoor is almost stable. Okay, so if you look at where is the growth getting into, and it's not very difficult to see that all the growth is happening in the digital sphere. And a lot of this growth has happened because of the shift from print. Okay, and also, and on top of it, and I think more significantly, the growth is happening because of the size of the marketing pie has grown. So that's the other thing that I would like to focus here. So of course, now there's no debate on this. The marketing pie, digital marketing pie, is increasing. One is due to the shift, and second is because the market is expanding. But but for us as professionals, I mean, that is not all. I mean, let's say that if the jobs, because if you relate increasing marketing spends to the business activity and business activity to more number of jobs, but let's say that if there were too many people also available, then that's not the area I would want to get into. I would want to get into areas wherein there's a growing demand but also lack in spend, and that's what this thing showed us. When this study asked these business owners as to what is it that's holding back from spending more on digital. They said, as professionals with required skills are very hard to find. They said hiring great talent is the most challenging skill, most challenging factor as on date. And 60% have said that lack of skill talent in the market. So that's what people are thinking today, lack of skill talent. And they also feel that the fewer people who are skilled, they can't afford them. Okay, the cost of quality staff is very, very high, so they can't afford those people. So if you mix them together, what it means is that if you get yourself trained, if you jump into this market, and if you're reasonably good, which I'm sure you are, you will have plenty of opportunity, and you will actually get out to solve one of the real challenges that people are facing currently. Okay, now what are the top skills? The study also went out to ask what are the top skills, and they said digital and social, like online advertising, social media. Like 54% of them said that is the top skill that they want. 44% want also content creation, your ability to write, ability to create blogs, interesting pieces of content like white papers, etc. Analytics is the, 1/3 of the people felt analytics skills are missing. People who can look at data, make meaning out of it. Mobile, people who can work on mobile devices, write ads on mobile devices, promote mobile devices, etc. That was the other top skill that was missing currently. Now, other thing which is being very interestingly pointed out in the industry in that study is this remark that every week there is a new technology emerging, and people with very specific tech skills are very few and far in between. Very important piece. I think that's what differentiates this industry from a lot of other industries. Like every week, I think every day there is something new which is happening. And if you are supposed to go out there and excel in those areas, you need to be continuously updated. So it's not one-time learning, is what I want to say. And also because that's one. And second is that it's not only learning a textbook style, it's also learning and executing, and also growing as you go forward. So as a professional, those are the three things that you should keep in your mind. Like you should learn new skills, practice new skills, and keep yourself upgraded by what is happening today. Okay, now what are the areas of digital marketing? Like let's quickly look into it. Okay, areas of digital marketing. So essentially, you can look at these 5 broad areas. Okay, and all these areas come into the picture after you have a web presence. Okay, and actually creating a web presence, though it's not true marketing, is also related. Okay, so I would also like to say that creating a web presence, creating a website, creating creating an app on the web are all related. They are the ancillary services, and I would put that as step zero. Okay, so if you are one of those guys who work in UI, UX, etc., etc., you are also very related to digital marketing. So that's zero. But once your website is done, then you would want to have all of these following as a business. Okay, and so you need people who are working in each one of them or who are trained in each one of them. Okay, the first one, of course, is I would say is this one: search engine optimization. Okay, today the search engine, Google especially, is a window to the internet. So people, when they want to find you or look for services, they go on and search, they find the site, and then they visit the site. So if you have a site, then you would obviously want yourself to rank higher on Google search engine or whatever search engine that you want to. So the people who make it happen are the search engine optimizers, and they do it in various ways. Like they do it by making sure that your website or the device is built properly, no technical errors. There has good content that makes sense to your users, etc., etc., so that Google actually gives you a higher ranking when people are looking for your services. So that's the first one, and that is something that everyone should invest time, energy. Some of this is like one time, while your site is built, and so one part is also continuously adding great content and publicizing your website, through PR related activities. So that's one area that defines search engine. I mean, defines digital marketing. And if you are good in SEO, then the best part is that you're going to get sustained and genuine traffic, without any additional incremental spends. So it's a one-time investment, but the results are like sustained and over a period of time. Now, the other part of the thing is through paid advertising, which is called search engine marketing or online advertising, no matter how you say. These are about creating, writing, putting, and targeting and bidding and making sure that your ads show up to the right target audience at the right time and they're looking for the products that you are selling. Okay, and so this advertising can happen on search engines, on any other website, inside videos, inside apps, inside games, or whatever. So the people who work in search engine marketing make sure that your great ads are created. They are able to find your target audiences, then buy those spaces on those platforms wherein you want to be, then bid for those platforms, because a lot of it is programmatic and bid based, and manage your budget and spends. And not only that, they want to make sure that your marketing objectives are maximized, or you are getting or meeting your marketing objectives for which you are driving these marketing. And your marketing objectives can be about generating leads if you're, say, an educational institute, real estate company, driving sales if you're an e-commerce company, running promos from time to time, if you're LG selling television sets and you have a promotion for World Cup, so you can do it online as well. So those are the things that the marketer, the search engine marketer does, and they pick the platform, write the ads, and also the right kind, like right from rich media to video ads to simple text ads to banners. So they work in those areas. Okay, the benefit of marketing, search engine marketing, is that it's immediate. You put the money today, your ads are going to start running right now, and you are going to start selling, promoting, generating leads right away. As against search engine optimization, wherein it takes at least 6 months for the benefits to accrue, and like for sales to happen, for leads to get generated, because Google has its own way to actually rank traffic, rank websites, and it takes some time. The other way, the third one, is social media. Like all of us, I'm sure, know about social media, Facebook, Twitter. So it's more about creating community of your past, present, or future customers and engaging with them on different platforms. So here the people help you pick the right platform, whether it should be Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, LinkedIn, whatever it is. create right forums, communities, help build, feed it with a lot of content, interesting content, drive engagement, and ultimately also this also gets into driving leads or promotions or sales, whatever it is. I mean, end of the day, it should also yield the right ROI that you are looking at. So that's the third piece, and this is also a different piece. Then finally, the good old email marketing. I mean, this is the grandfather of all marketing, wherein you generate a list of people who may be interested in your services. You send them right kind of mailers, target them properly, send them offers. People look at the mailer, click on the links, come to the website and buy. Okay, that's the email marketing. Also, there's something called referrals, affiliates. I mean, all those guys use kind of email as a marketing tool. And finally, analytics. This field which actually puts the right codes at the right places, and they are able to measure the effectiveness of the campaign. So we are going to talk a little bit more about all these things. So these are the areas, and you will see that this is another e-marketer research that tells you how each one of these areas are doing. Okay, and if you look at it, the search engine, the search marketing, like if there are like search marketing, like they are the almost neck to neck with display now. So like 24 versus 25 billion, that is the market size in the US. So search and display, they are the two biggest ones, and then followed by mobile and email, etc., etc. They are pretty small. And display is also broken up by banners, which is like almost half of display. Video, small and growing. Rich media, small and growing. Sponsorship, these are like larger banners, roadblocks, etc. Like sponsorship on page, YouTube, etc. That also is small and growing. But under display, the banner ads, they are the largest ones. The rest of them are pretty growing. Under search, like there are these mobile advertising, both the search and display can also target mobile devices. And if this was to be split by device, how much of spend is happening or how much of targeting is happening on desktop versus a mobile, you will see that mobile is also growing, very fast growing platform as compared to desktop. So if you put these two together, it's like 49, maybe 50 billion out of 50 billion. Maybe 5 years back, only 2 or 3% was happening on mobile devices. Currently, maybe 20-25% will be happening on mobile devices. And that's a very fast growing area. And then the rest of them, you can see that comparatively, they are very, very small. So that's how they split up. So you can see that if you want to get into digital marketing search, which is like search engine marketing, which also encompasses display, this is where the most of the money is flowing. Okay. So the reason I point it out is that when you are making a career choice, get into a significant area and a growing area. So this graph is going to tell you that SEM is one. Now the other question is that we are based in India, and how does India do in all these areas, and where do we stand? Okay, so before we get into India, I think one thing is that the Indian internet penetration has been very, very rapid, especially in the last 1 year. So if you look at this chart, if you look at this graph, this is percentage internet population. And you can see that by the end of 2015, we are expected to take the internet penetration to 29.5%, which is like, about 30% of India's population will have access to the internet. What is very surprising is the speed of growth, is the rate of change, the velocity of change which has happened in the last 2-3 years. Here is some data, astonishing data, that tells you that for India to get the first 100 million users, it took us about 10 years. The next 100 million users came in the next 3 years. And the last 100 million users have come in the last 1 year. Okay, so that's the rate of growth, and we are expected to add another 100 million this year. So it's growing very rapidly. So essentially, net, a lot of people are getting online and have access to the internet. The split, is that, of course, most of it is in urban, but there is a little bit of rural areas also we are getting, and a lot of it are getting through mobile data. So a lot of people are accessing internet through the mobile data. Okay, so there's a rapid growth, and what the internet has also done is that it has led for a lot of us to do a lot of our activities online. So think about buying a ticket, buying an airline ticket. Like no more I go to a agent and go and buy it. No more I go to a railway counter and buy. Like I do it online, and I'm sure all of us are doing it. Hailing a cab, like calling for a cab is like, again, a lot of it is getting driven through apps. Taking a note, writing a note, like earlier we would take a pen, paper and pencil. Now we are doing it online. Communicating, like a Facebook, whatever, email, Gmail, etc. Reading books. A lot of it is going online, though this is one area which will still remain physical in nature, but a lot of reading is now happening online, booking your hotel. So you will see that increasingly, a lot of us are spending a lot of time doing a lot of activities online, So, and it's a fact that the businesses and marketers follow where the users are. If the users were on the road, you will see a lot of hoardings and banners. If they're at the airport, a lot of hoardings and banners there. If the users are watching movies in the cinema halls, a lot more advertising in movies. If they're on television, a lot more ads in TV, radio. But today, a lot of users are on the internet, and that's where advertising and businesses are following them. That's why you will see that the spends online are growing so rapidly. Now, let's look at what's happening in India. Okay, and before we look at this graph, this chart, I would want to look at the overall market size. And as per the IMRB estimates, 2014 digital marketing was 2,750 crore industry in India, okay, which is pretty significant. The other thing is that it's growing. So 2013 was 2260, from 2260 it went up to 2750. So about added about 500 crores, which is about added about 22% over 2013. Okay, so it's growing at 22%, 25% at a very large scale. Okay, and now let's look at how it's being split. Where are the money going into? And like we looked at in the US markets, also in India, majority of the money is getting into search advertising. Okay, search. So search 30% today, 23% is display. So this together makes up about 53%. And this is one, these two are also getting split up because of the mobile spends. And so the growing area even in this, if you can look at it, is mobile, which has gone from 7 to 10 to 14%. Social media, which is going from 10, 13 to 18%. The mobile and social media are growing, and so is video advertising. So 5, 7, and 12. So these are the growing areas, while the biggest chunk of investment even today is happening in search and display, which is what we call as online advertising. Okay, this is online advertising. Even mobile is a part of the online advertising. Then you have social media marketing, email marketing, and video. Okay, so you can actually see where the money is being put as far as India is concerned. Okay, now having looked at the industry, the next about 10 to 15 minutes, we are going to spend a little bit more talking about the various career options available to you. Okay, so what we discussed till now is what is the function. You want to get into the social media or SEO or whatever. Now, inside these areas, there are different functions, and that's what we are going to look at right now. So essentially, these are the career streams, and you can pick up or get into one or the many areas. It's always good to specialize in one. So let's look at what are those areas. So first, of course, is the sales. These are the people who go out and sell digital marketing. So they may be working with an ad agency. They may want to go out and sell, or they may be working with a technology company, ad tech company like a Google or a Facebook, like and ad networks, ad exchange, and they are the people who go out and sell. So their job is to sell their advertising products to every brand and companies out there. And they are the frontline people. They are the face of the company. Okay, and they need to be really aggressive. They work on very stiff targets, and their job is to make sure that their numbers are met. Okay, but at the same time, they need to go out and sell solutions to the customers, because they're saying that, okay, here's my website, here's the banner, this size does not help. You have to show your advertisers how advertising on your platform is going to help them meet their marketing objectives. The objectives can be video advertising. Objectives can be, driving sales, generating leads, brand building, whatever it is. Okay, so that's the job the sales guy does. They negotiate rates, give out discounts, and close the deal. Okay, now once that deal is closed, okay, once Google or a Facebook goes out and closes a deal with, say, a Starbucks, and Starbucks agrees to advertise on their platform, then the account management people come in the picture. Then they look at the requirements. These are the people who create those ads, create those accounts, put those ads in the account, find the right target audience, start bidding on those, on the campaigns, the ad groups, the ads that they create. So basically, they execute the marketing plans. The account management people, they will talk to their customers like Starbucks. They will talk to them day-to-day basis, take their inputs, do some keyword research, traffic research, etc., etc. The other people, they need to be very hands-on with the tool. They need to be aware of what's the latest changes which are happening. And their job is really to keep working on these ads and optimize them so that they are able to meet the objectives of the businesses that they are supporting. Okay. And account management roles are typically either in agencies, like agencies who manage clients and accounts. They are also there in some of the internet or the ad tech companies like Google, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. All these people will have their account management people who will manage different accounts. So those are the two sides. Both of them need to understand the platforms very well, but the account management is more execution focused. Sales is more selling focused. So they need to have a much more higher, bigger, and other skills. The third area is analyst. You are somebody who prepares reports, do the dashboarding, create dashboards. You have to provide the businesses with insights which are actionable in nature and using which business can figure out their action points. So they should understand, okay, I'm getting X, 100 traffic, 100 people, 100 visitors, but none of them are coming back. Okay, or of the people who come back, very few percentage of people are actually buying something. Okay, they will say that, okay, or they may say that, okay, the traffic that we are getting from Facebook is better than traffic we are getting from other social platform, or vice versa, or this platform is performing well, or this ad format is not performing well, things like that. Or our cost of customer acquisition is XY, this is how it's trending. You need to invest more in SEO versus SEM, social versus other things. So they are these kinds of people. They are the analysts, and they do a lot of data mining, bringing out insights, giving it back to the business. And the analysts are not only related to advertising part, they're also related to the business part, especially on the website. So let's say you are somebody who has an e-commerce site, and you are getting traffic from various sources who are spending some time on your website, and then there's some action that you want, like sell, buying, or signing up, registering, downloading a news white paper and all. So analyst actually builds and puts the entire picture and give it to the business owners. A large part of analyst's role is also to figure out advertising efficiencies, okay, and try and give out data to make these advertising more effective, right? And they also put all these, try to do segmentation, they try to do attribution and figure out which one is getting traffic, which one is leading to sales, which one is leading to loyalty. And whenever you do promotions, the analyst analyze data, etc., etc., and they make sure that those are working. They're not working, they will also tell you why they're not working. So there are certain tools that an analyst needs to be very comfortable with. Like a lot of people use Google Analytics. Large companies use Google Analytics Premium. So you need to know that. Some of the people also use other competing analyst tools, like analytics tools like Omniture. So generally, you need to know both. If not both, then at least you should be comfortable in Google Analytics. Okay. And of course, once you download the data from analytics, you should be able to work very well in Excel. You should really master Excel, be very good in analytics, and you should understand the terms, technologies, nuances of terms. What is a page view versus a click? What is a click-to-view ratio, click-to-visit ratio? And you should be very good with numbers. So that's the role of an analyst. They do data mining, create reports, build graphs, charts, slides, etc. So those are what analyst does. Then there is another field called operations. This is something that not a lot of companies have, but especially people who have large advertising operations. They are the people who have an operations team. So a Google will have, or Facebook will have. So wherein you have got large scale work happening, or large agencies will have operations. And they are the people who may do some part of the account management stuff. They are the people who do some part of sales, supporting the sales stuff, but they are part of the sales team. So typical things that gets done here is, on the ad side will be like, like on Google or Facebook, when people submit ads, the ads have to be reviewed and approved for policy, and that is one set of people. And then operations teams are also manage the customer service, customer service at Snapdeal, Flipkart, like Google, Amazon, Facebook. They're all managed by the customer service people, where you have a large set of people handling queries on email, phone, chat, etc. So that's the operations, or do certain things which are very repetitive in nature, like ad review. They also maybe some take up some other parts of all the roles, like analysts. Also, they may be the guys who will take the data, create some reports, give it to analysts who will analyze and get insights. Okay, so they are the people. Their main job is bring in efficiencies in whatever they are doing, at zero quality errors, and they have to make sure that the customers are happy, the objectives are met. Okay, that's operations. All these BPOs have operations, like a lot of the BPOs, like right from Genpact to the Accentures of the world, Wipros of the world, TCS. All of them are into operations. I would also say a project management. Okay, so project management as operations is the other job. Finally, there is this job for technical side of digital, which is like creating presence. That's what I was talking about. So like if you have to build a website, you need to design it properly. You need to think about how your customers are going to interact with the content. And your job is really to remove the hurdles, make it very simplified so that people understand what's next to be done. Your job is to make sure that the designing is proper, etc., etc. Okay, the site is fast, or the app is fast, the downloads are happening quickly, the whatever people are coming to your site to do, they're able to do that quickly and efficiently. Okay, these parts. So some of the areas, some of the very interesting areas are, I think, in the UI UX space. UI UX is actually the evolved form of designing. Okay, and they are actually people, UX people. They figure out the strategy of an app, like what is the app meant for, what is it that it should focus on. So they are the people who figure out this strategy. How can we actually make it easier for people to do an action on the website? And they are the people who actually figure out the effectiveness of one design versus the other design, test 5 different types of designs. Plus UI is also similar, but it's a little different, similar and different. In a sense that UI are the people who like work with development teams and execute on whatever UX teams have come up with. UX teams also do these consumer studies. They will put different kinds of people in front of computer and see how they are interacting with your website. Why are they not able to do the action that they were supposed to do? You're on Amazon. Why are they actually dropping off at a certain point in the website? What is it that they're finding it hard to understand? So they are the people who do these, and then UI people actually execute and implement that wireframing, making sure that there are some dummies created, and that's what the development team takes up and codes. Okay, so development, UI, UX are the sides that work with maybe the technology firms who actually execute on your website or on your app. Or you may have it with your own company if you're a large company, and if your business is pretty large, you may have UI, UX development teams in-house. Okay. Then some technical work is also done for analytics implementation. Like we were talking about analytics here, Google Analytics, Omniture. For some very complicated websites, they need to be implemented properly. And for that, you need people who understand coding, like who are good in web technology, like HTML, HTML5, Java, etc., etc. So they know those things. They'll be able to implement it properly so that your actions that is happening on the website is tracked properly. Okay, this is more important in today's world, wherein there's an app versus a website, wherein a lot of things are happening on the screen itself without actually interacting with the web servers. So that's the technical team. So These are the broad areas that you would get to work into. Okay, and at this point in time, you should figure out what area interests you. Are you a sales guy versus are you more excited by execution? Like you want to figure out. You're very excited about figuring out the target audience. You're a creative guy. So those are the guys who get into account management. Analyst is very data driven. Numbers, number crunching. Ops is like project management. Like you want people management. You want to handle large teams, get work done out of very large teams. Technical is like if you are into coding and you are C++, computer science engineers, etc. You need to get here. There's also technical is also becoming a little human. So there's one stream called human computer interaction, HCI, which is what people who work in UX do. So they understand how humans interact with computers and how that can be much more meaningful and streamlined. So this is kind of a technical side of advertising or a web or whatever it is. Okay, so depending upon your skills you have and the interest that you have, you should pick up the area that you want to get into. And this area, on top of it, you can actually do selling for social media versus selling for digital or online advertising. So if you're a sales guy, you can pick up whatever. So you can move across. If you're an account management guy, you can do account management on Google or Facebook, or Twitter, whatever it is. Analysts, you can put all the data together. Ops, you can do. So I think that, but I think what is more important is pick the area that you want to get into. Okay. Now let's look at it at a little more deeper level, and in the next 5-7 minutes before we actually end the session. So sales, like your job is to generate leads, close that lead, and then your job will be really like working with different partners, business development, tying up, etc. That's what your deal. And you do two types of things, like you can be a sales guy selling the products, working for a Flipkart, generating more sales, or you can be an ad sales guy working for Google and trying to sell or trying to get as many advertisers to use Google's products. You can be both kinds of sales guys. Key thing here is your selling skills, relationship skills, ability to persuade people and help them buy. So essentially, if you look at it, one is B2C, from business to consumer, or this is B2B. So you can get into a B2B sales or B2C sales, depending upon your skills, what excites you, your career plans, whatever. Second is account management. Like I said, in account management, you can look at, you want to get into advertising, social media, SEO, and again, it depends what kind of skills you have. Like SEM is a mix of all the activities. You need people who are creative in nature, who can create ads, who are analytical as well. So good communication skills, good analytical skills are needed for SEM. Social is very communications heavy. So you need to be a relationship guy, be able to connect with people, come out with interesting content, etc. SEO has two parts. One is a technical part and other is a very content part. So you can figure out where you want to go. The one thing about all the three things is the SEO is one area where there are too many people. So you pick your areas clearly, while SEM is like it's a little analytical, a little communications, mix of both. To social is a lot about communication. So you can pick the area that you want to get into, but there's enough opportunity in all the three of them. Data and analysts, like I don't need to tell you more about. They are the people who create dashboards, KPIs, figure out ROI, metrics, measurements, etc., etc. Okay, they are the people who do all those things. You need to be very good with numbers, Excel sheets, and all those. At least one of those tools like Google Analytics, and that's the one thing that you need to do. Your job is essentially, the way I see it, is to get actionable insights and feed it back to the business or the marketing, so that they actually work on it and come back and improve the performance of your website or your marketing campaigns. Technical, I've already spoken, like you can get into development side, UX, UI designing side, analytics implementation side. Those are all different parts. And different kind of companies hire these people. Like there are some companies are very UX, UI design specific. They only make the design. They don't do coding. And then there are these development companies that do development as well. There are some companies that do both, so you can actually figure out. And then some of these development companies also do app development, which again is a separate stream nowadays. So there are companies which just do app development. Even in app, there are people who just do gaming, okay, who are very gaming focused versus developing generic app focused. So again, it depends on what your interest areas are, but this is of course meant for people who are a little technical. You need to know the basics of coding, okay? And operations, like you can get into any one of those areas, like the user management, customer service, ad operations, operational efficiency. See, here, if you're a project manager, people manager, this is the place for you. Or if you want to become a project manager and people manager, you should get into it. You'll be dealing with a lot of customers, dealing with a lot of operational efficiencies. So you are the heart and soul, like you are the people who make the big businesses run. Like if you talked about Flipkart, how is Flipkart different from other e-commerce players who are there? And a lot of people will say is because of their customer service or the service that they provide. So sometimes service is the differentiator, especially in the online world. And Zappos is another company which is very famous for its service part of the deal. Okay, so service has become a differentiator in the online e-commerce world. A lot of companies are focusing a lot on the service side, and service can happen directly through phone, also on social media, like through Twitter and through Facebook, etc. So if you are the guy who loves interacting with people, solving their problems, and then you need to look at the operations part of it. Of course, if you want to get into operations, there's no specific skill, but you need to have great communication skills, and you need to be patient, etc., etc. Okay. Now in all of them, like passion for internet, I think is one underlying thing. You need to be passionate. You need to be somebody who spends a good amount of time. So you should do all that. Now, how to get started? I think you should figure out the interest areas that interest you. Learn the skills. Practice the skills. I think practicing is very important. So it's also important that the people you're learning from, they need to be practitioners. No theoretical knowledge will not take you very far. It's all about practicing. Get certified, but when you get certified, I think it helps you. It gives you your CV a little weightage, but do it from a global agency. So because at least in digital marketing, a lot of global companies operate, and they may not understand the local certifications we have. So get a global certification, and that's where I feel that the certification that Google offers on the online advertising side or the analytics side are really world class, and that is something that you should target. Okay, and finally, you need to get connected with the right jobs, companies, careers. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Google offers certification in online advertising, which is on the Google AdWords and Google Analytics. If you want to get into those areas, try to get this certified. Okay, how can we help? Last half a minute. So we have a website called ampdigitalnet.com, ampdigitalnet.com, on which the blogs, webinars like this, you can sign up for them. There are articles you can go and look up. We do courses. Some of them are free, like SEO. We are doing free. There are some paid, like on search engine marketing, social media, analytics. We are providing all these courses. A lot of them are instructor driven, wherein you get into an online class and then we take you through. And and the good part about our programs is that we not only focus on learning, but also on implementation. We help you implement those, so that you get a practical hands-on experience. We help you get certified through Google certification. We help you prepare for those exams. You have to take those exams. You get certified. You get it directly from Google. We also provide you certification, which are completion certificates. Okay, now one new thing we have started is that we are also trying to get you connected, if you've done our program, to the decent opportunity in that area. Okay, whether you get hired or not depends on the company, but we can actually guide you as to what the right options are, what are the companies which are hiring, and in some of the cases, if we know, we'll also connect you to those people, and then it's up to you and them. Generally, what I've seen is that after you do the course, you need to practice it for some time before you can actually get into it, but we'll guide you with all that. Final thing is that our next online advertising program is starting next Sunday, 11 p.m. The classes will be held 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. every Sunday for 7 Sundays. and we will cover all the Google AdWords. For more details, you can write to me, amitabh@adsforgrowth.com, or visit ampdigitalnet.com. Okay, now I'm just going to check if there are any questions right now. If there are any questions, I'll be very happy to take them. If they're not, you can always write to me. Okay, yeah, so there are some questions. Rajesh has a question looking at India spend. How much would it be mobile platform? So Rajesh, like I said, I think about 20-25% can be mobile specific. I don't have the numbers, but I can get back to you with the real numbers. I think one thing, Rajesh, to think about is that this is a growing area. Okay, so even if it's smaller today, it's growing at a very, very rapid pace. And in fact, we have a few Indian mobile advertising companies which have become global leaders. So Mobi is one such company which is really like become the world's #1 in mobile advertising. Okay, so it's especially for us, wherein like a large part of our internet population is using or accessing internet from mobile devices. Okay, so this is going to grow, whatever the number it is today. Yeah, so Kiran, I think you have a very specific question. It will be great if you can write into me at amitabh@adsforgrowth. I'll be very happy to talk to you and figure out what's the right stream for me. Okay, so Ramana is saying quality broadcast not good. Okay, so Ramana, we are actually recording it, so hopefully you can actually view the recording. Yeah, so what does 14% mobile spend mean, Rajesh? Okay, so what 14% mobile spend means is that is the spend which is happening on the mobile devices. Okay, so when advertisers are targeting mobile versus a desktop, 14% would be on the mobile devices, the rest will be on the desktop or the iPads. And thing to remember is that this is a growing area, and this is going to make up very, very fast. And not very distant future, the spends on mobile devices will be similar to the spend on desktop. Okay, with that, I'll end this session. So thank you very much. I'm going to put this recording out so you can actually view it. So you will receive a mail shortly with the link to this thing. So if you want to get back to it, you can always refer to it. Okay, so thank you very much.